Hi, everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about information related to our 2022 Sir James Dunn Animal Welfare Center Grants Program. So we'll start with deadlines. So our notice of intent this year, which is optional, is September 24th, and our full applications are due November 4th. What is the notice of intent? So we started this last year, and essentially this is a way for us to give you feedback on your project before you submit a full application. This year we are increasing the amount of word space you have, so you have about a page to give us a general description of your project idea. We're not using this at all for screening, so this is not used when we're evaluating your full application. It's really meant for us to give you feedback before you submit your full application so that you can be successful. There's forms available on the website for the notice of intent, and you can email them directly to me by the deadline. For the full application, you'll submit this to Sherry, and you'll give her two electronic copies, one as a Word format, and then one as a scanned or PDF format with signatures. If you'd like to give her a hard copy, that is okay too. We have three project types this year. This is similar to last year: research, service, and integrated projects. I'll go over those each in a little bit more detail. So we'll start with our research project types. These budgets must not exceed $100,000 for up to 3 years. You can have both natural and social sciences in these projects. And we strongly encourage you to include graduate students and include funding for graduate students within your budget. Research projects must show clear relevance to animal welfare, and if you're not sure about that, this is a good opportunity for you to submit a notice of intent, and we can give you feedback on that. So I'll give you a couple of examples of the types of research projects that we funded in the past. This is not meant to be an inclusive list. There's lots of other projects that could fall under the topic of animal welfare, but this will give you an idea of what animal welfare projects generally look like. So the first is looking at novel methods for assessing or relieving pain or distress in animals, using behavioral or physiological or psychological studies to improve animal subjective experiences. That's what we mean when we say animal welfare, how the animal's feeling, their housing, or how we manage them. Development of innovative alternatives to replace, reduce, or refine the use of animals in research or teaching. Social science research used to improve animal welfare by increasing our understanding of what people think of animal welfare. Epidemiological studies used to identify risk factors for welfare-related outcomes, or studies to increase our understanding of how diseases affect mental experiences or how animals feel. Our second grant type are service projects. Service projects have a budget of up to $25,000 for 1 year, but they are renewable. So every year you can reapply with the same project. So a couple examples of types of service projects would be activities that directly relieve pain, suffering, or distress in a vulnerable population of animals, or engagement with community partners to create innovative learning experiences for students focused on animal welfare. For our integrated projects, which is relatively new, we started this last year, we're looking for essentially a combination of the first two, of research and service projects. So we use the same budget for our research projects. They must not exceed $100,000 for projects of up to 3 years. They combine a research component with a service component, and you must have a multidisciplinary team. So it's part of our evaluation criteria is to look at your expertise that you have involved in the project. So a couple examples, again, not to be exhaustive, but if your service project looks at directly relieving pain, suffering, or distress in a vulnerable population of animals, and you're able to actually measure how that service project impacts animals using research methodologies, that's a perfect example of an integrated project. If you have a service project where you're working with community partners, you're creating a really neat learning experience for students, where they're learning about animal welfare, or they are learning about how to provide service to people to improve animal welfare, and you're actually measuring outcomes from the students. So you're doing social sciences around student learning. That could also count as an integrated project. So when we evaluate applications, we want to be very transparent about how we evaluate. So if you go on our website, you'll find much more detailed information about what the evaluators are looking for. We're looking for relevance to animal welfare, the merit of the proposal in general, and the expertise within the team. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or Sherry. And otherwise, we look forward to seeing your notice of intents or your full applications.